G-Sauce, Gavin here. It's actually really funny I'm doing this video. I filmed a deck profile about a week ago after a 3v3. My team and I bubbled, we lost in the last round, and out of top 4, we got 5th. So I was a little bummed. I filmed a profile because my deck did really well, but it didn't do as well as I wanted it to do. And there was an event this weekend, and I was like, you know what? I'll just play Mathmech again. I'll see if I do better, and if I do better, I'll film the profile. We ended up actually winning the event. We won triple ulti fenrir. So now I have to show you guys the new list I cooked up. So yeah, I'll get you into my reasoning as to why I played the deck going forward. And yeah, here we go. I actually thought about changing decks last second because I didn't think this deck was good by itself. However, Circular is one of the best cards ever printed. This is a custom card. This is Magician Souls for Mathmech. You send a Mathmech from your deck to the graveyard, just summon it, and then if a Mathmech monster is summoned while this is on the field, you get to search a Mathmech spell or trap. And if you know anything about Mathmech spell or traps, you know that they're crazy. So yeah, this card is just a custom card. There's also a restriction on this. Do not get cheated by that. You can only attack with one monster for the rest of the turn after you resolve this effect. Next is Mathmech Diameter. Mathmech Diameter is Wolf Bark, meaning you can special summon a Mathmech from your graveyard while it's summoned. And then the other crazy thing about Diameter is that as it's XYZ material on a monster, this is a effect negation. That is crazy. So many people try to activate an effect not knowing that there was a negate underneath my Laplation or a negate underneath my the really good one's Allen version. It's just crazy. This card is actually insane. Next is double addition, double subtraction, and double sigma. These guys are your extenders. If there's no monster in your extra monster zone, this is actually just a free summon, but it locks you into Cyberse. Addition basically can target a monster in the field. It gains 1,000 attack, and then you summon it. Mathmech Subtraction, target a monster in the field. It loses 1,000 attack, and you summon it. These guys are insane. Basically, one Mathmech Circular can really do anything in the game. There was a time off of one Circular, I was able to go into an access code to break a board. And then I forget how I did it. I extended somehow, and then I was able to go back into a Cyberse Wicked and then full combo backwards. It was insane. That hand was actually crazy, and that line was nuts. But these are the only Mathmechs you run. I was running Multiplication at the last event, and I ended up cutting it because it's not the best bridge. But some people have been on it. I think the card's not bad. It has some really cool applications, but it's definitely not needed. These are all you gotta play. Your honorary Mathmech is Parallax. This is a Small World Bridge and is also, if you're able to resolve this, you can kill your opponent easy. You can basically beat your opponent with access code, double attack, by any 2 monsters. So having an extender is basically just really, really clean. Next are the hand trap lineup. And I'm going to get into the reasons why here soon. There's a couple weird ones, but Droll was crazy all day. This is a really good Small World Bridge. It's also really good at stopping cash. It's really good at stopping dragons. A lot of the decks that are actually coming up right now, the rogue decks, lose to Droll very easy. So just having all-around protection for that, making sure you don't die. If you have an extra turn with Mathmech, your opponent loses. So that's the entire goal. Effect Veiler, again, stops them. It's a good bridge. I wanted to play 15 hand traps, and this is, I think, one of the best hand traps right now. Next to Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is for the Despia matchup. And Nibiru, if they overextend in cash. Literally, if they know what they're doing on cash, they're always just going to try to put you on it. So this card's really good. There was also a Sword Soul player there who I nibbed twice. Shout out. I'm so sorry for what I did to you, but man, that was crazy. And you have to play it for the bridge ratios. And then this was Sauce. Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju. It's just a really good bridge. That's all it really comes down to. You want to play at least one Kaiju. It's easiest if it's a light, just so you can always really bridge into it. But yeah, no, this was insane. I would not change this ratio. While we're at it, actually, I'll pull out the other hand traps, being triple infinite permanence. So we're playing 15 hand traps. Yeah, we always saw what we needed, basically. And after a combo, too, you can always bridge into a hand trap. So it's not bad. There was a time against a generator player, I actually tried bridging into Nibiru because he already summoned all the tokens, so I can Nibiru on his turn. That would have been insane, but no, we weren't winning that game. Then here are the spells. This entire deck just basically reads get to circular because you're playing triple Signet Mining, triple Small World, and double Desires. These two do not conflict as much as you think they would. Basically, since you're playing so many bridges, you're always getting into one. That's why it's really good that even though Nib is not always in the best position against every deck, it's good to at least have a game one so you always have a bridge into it. So yeah, it wasn't actually very bad. This was actually really good all day because if they know what they're doing, this entire deck can like search itself because Allen Version with 4 materials can search any spell or trap. And then Small World basically says you can search any monster in your deck. So your entire deck is literally searchable, especially with Signet Mining. So yeah, I'd say this is a little insane. I think that's the main reason to play it low key, is that like you can search every card in your deck. And then Equation. Equation, if you don't know, is just a Mathmech. Oh my god, this card's insane. This is Monster Reborn, but it gains 1,000 attack. It's nuts. So the main go-to is that, I'll just show you guys, Super Factorial. Game 1, you're always basically searching Super Factorial. Game 2, you don't really want to get to it if you're going second. So you always want to search the Equation so you can just kill them and crack back. Equation just like a hell of a card, and it helps you play around other things. And the real gas. So this is the card where like this is what you want to end on your end boards. If you don't know what this card does, this is basically your only real interruption in the deck. You don't end on a lot of interrupts. The combo itself really only ends on either Heat Soul Pass, which and then there's what is it? IP Masquerade and a Unicorn. And when you hear that, you're like, that's not the best, and it's not. This entire deck is all posturing, basically. You get follow-up, you make sure you don't die, and you just beat them on the crackback, because you can like play through anything. You're not letting them make a board because you have so many hand traps and so many other cards that you do. They can't really kill you through Super Factorial all the time. So, yeah, that's really it. If you don't know what this card does, you special back up to 3 Mathmech monsters with different names from your graveyard and either XYZ summon with them or Synchro summon with them. Why that's really good is because of Diameter. Diameter being able to go underneath something means that when you make a Laplation on the opponent's turn, you can have the negate underneath it as well, even when it's gone off of it as material. So a really good mind game is to detach the Diameter always when you're using the effect. So they're like, oh, okay, cool. And you're like, no, sorry, there's still a negate under there, buddy. Speaking of Laplation, let's get into the extra deck. These are 2 of the nuttiest XYZ monsters you have ever seen printed. This is basically just a Trishula, and if you know me, Trishula is like my favorite card. So the fact that I have this is like crazy, because what you can do is that you detach materials off of it, and you get to send a card from your opponent's hand at random. You get to send a monster from their side of the field to the graveyard. It sends, it does not destroy, and it does not target. And it sends a spell or trap on their side of the field to the graveyard. This card is very good against Runic. This is basically the Runic killer. This is very good into like every matchup. The only thing it's bad against is into Bestials because they can Bestial the Super Factorial and it won't resolve. But it's so good. And then Allen Version. This card is also just a custom card. You can tribute a monster, and especially on the back of Mathmech. That comes up a lot. You can detach 2 materials at any Mathmech monster, well, any Mathmech card, detach 3 materials, and you get to search any level 4 monster in the game, or you can detach 4 materials, search any spell and trap in the game. It's really cool because you can search Hanzo off this, and this is basically ninja support. After going through these, the Link ones you play, so the package of Link ones I played at the 3v3 was very different. I played the Link Devotee and the Link Disciple. I didn't want to play these for this event. I felt very like you didn't need it. You can do the entire line without them. Like one Circular can just do so much by itself. So the one thing you do lose harder to is like an Imperm, but like you were losing to Imperm with those hands anyway. So it is what it is. Uh, Basically, yeah, this is for if you have a normal summon, you need to turn it into a Cybers monster so that you can full combo. And then this is so that you can play around Imperm. Two very, very good cards. This also plays around evenly. I was making an M board all day that was like Cyber's Wicked with Lingribo and Cyber's, and IP Masquerena. So they can't evenly me, they can't Imperm me, they can't run over my Wicked. They always try to run over Wicked. It has hidden text, it's crazy. Link 2s. Double Splash Mage, you have to. This is basically just Access Code Talker. Yeah, this card's crazy. This is just Monster Reborn. Like, if you resolve this card, it's so good. This is also just a free Heat Soul. IP Masquerena just gives you a free Unicorn. Lets you go into, like, Heat Soul in your opponent's turn. This is just a very, very good card. Cyber's Wicked is low-key the craziest card like they can give Cybers. If a monster is summoned to its zone, you get to banish a a Cybers monster in graveyard out of Cybers Tuner. If you didn't know, Diameter is a Cybers Tuner. So this basically just has written on it search Diameter. And then the other really cool thing about it is that it cannot be destroyed by battle card effects. This is just the towers. And the monsters it points to cannot be targeted. So if you have IP underneath it, well, they can't imperm it. It's really good. This is just a crazy card. The update jammer, like this is the one everyone wants banned. It says attack twice. And then the payoffs. I'm just going to show you guys the sauce. We play double Access Code Talker. And the reason why is you don't want it ripped. And the real crazy reason why is that, like, sometimes it just comes up where you need an Access Code Talker, just break a board, and then you can just combo into something else after. Like, this deck is just gas. So if you do that, you can then set up your board after, and then on the crackback, like, it's really important, especially into Kashtira, to get rid of their birth. Because if you get rid of birth, they're not able to fully combo you the next turn. Like, if they get to it, they get to it. But you're getting the interrupts mid-combo anyway. So being able to break their board, go into this, then set up your own board with the trap, they're not beating you. Like, this is just an insane card. Like, playing 2 of this card just feels like you're cheating. Nightmare Unicorn, just having a disruption on the opponent's turn. Also really good into Runic. Transcode Talker. If you basically have a setup like this of the Transcode Talker, Access Code Talker, your opponent's not winning. I'm sorry, but like, they can't imperm you, they can't Baylor you. It's just GG. The real broken thing, though, is that, like, into Bestials, this is really rough. The Dragon player I was up against was on Brotar, so you couldn't really kill, but it was just so crazy. Like, this deck was just able to out-advantage even Dragons. It's nuts. And one of the reasons why is because you basically get 2 draw phases. Every turn, you can see more than 3 new cards. And when your entire deck says search itself, this feels like a cheat code. Like, this should not be allowed. Like, I'm not saying ban this card. Like, this is definitely not a ban-worthy card. I don't even think this is a deck worth hitting on a ban list. But the crazy thing is that, like, you don't lose to Ibli. It's basically an extender for you. And then, like, you have, like, so many options to just look through your entire deck. Like, the fact that this entire deck can search itself is the craziest thing. And then for the side deck, my side deck's very generic. The one thing about me is that I didn't want to lose to Despia. So most of the room was on Despia and Cash, so that's what a lot of my side is for. So we have triple Ghost Bell for Expulsion. We're in triple Cosmic Cyclone. This card is just for back row matchups. I didn't know what I was running into, and it's just all around, I think, a really good card. Double Dark Roar no more. I had to change up my ratios very weirdly just to fit in some cards because I didn't want to lose to the Expulsion lock. And I wanted some cards that were better into the Cash matchup. So basically I wanted to play double Floodgates because I can search them off of Alan Bershin. And the only way to really make space was to play double Dark Roar no more. I'm also not too scared into the Sprite matchup because Mathmech just historically has like a pretty good Sprite matchup. And the sauce, double Grave of a super ancient organism and double anti-spell. So we're playing 2. And again, the reason why is because you can search 1. So if you are able to draw into 1 off of Decode Talker Heat Soul, or if you're able to just keep digging, because you can just dig through your deck, you can always usually get to the Alan Bershin search. And then Alan Bershin search for Floodgate, and if you're already drawing into other cards, Because when you're searching the floodgate, you can also end on decode talker heat soul. That's the broken part. So like being able to see a bunch of new cards and say search floodgate with follow up. Oh my god, they printed this. So yeah, this is just insane. I would not change this. Low key, going into the future, since there's not as many Despia, I'd probably cut these and then just play 3-3. That's what I played at the 3v3. But this is all personal preference, and I think the idea that I'm able to search it was very strong. And then triple evenly matched. This card was really good. Won me the finals. And that's really it. Yeah, thanks for watching the profile. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, don't mind asking me in the comment section down below. I love Mathmech. I don't know if I'm going to play the deck anymore, but we'll see. I don't have many big events coming up near me in the near future. So if I do play this deck again, I'll play it again. But yeah, I think this deck was very, very cool. I think it does some things. It has very good matchups that a lot of decks don't have. So being able to play it just felt really good. And oh man, being able to resolve XYZ Trishula just feels broken. Yeah, thanks for watching the profile. Have a great one.